Namaste everyone. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Today I am going to cover the 27th theme of chess puzzles that we have been doing on this channel. And today's theme is called as Knight on F5. Believe me, double attacks do not get much better than when the knight is on F5. There are so many different possibilities with attacking pieces like queen and bishop that you can involve in this attack to either win material or deliver a checkmate, which is why I have nine challenges for you aside from the example which I'm going to show you today. It's going to be an exciting journey. So let's dive right into it. There are a few things that you need to keep in mind when you have a knight on f5. The first is, well, the knight is on f5. The second is that the queen is readily able to move to the g file without wasting moves. And finally, it's actually an added bonus if you have an opponent queen that's on d7 or a bishop that's on e7. Because this bishop on e7 will need constant guarding because we have a knight attacking it, so the queen will have to be somewhere around, or some or the other pieces are going to be stuck defending that bishop. Let's see how we can leverage the situation uh, to make the most of having a knight on f5. We'll start with queen g4. What are we threatening here? We are threatening queen g7 checkmate. So black will make a measly move like g6. This is normally a good move to ward off an attack. But the problem here is the moment you deliver a check from h6, knight h6, the king is still safe, but the queen is not. So you just take the queen. This way you win material. Yes, you lose a knight, but you get a queen. I think it's a more than fair trade. Another thing that what black could do is just play f6 instead of g6. In this case, you still have the same threat. You can move the knight to h6, and you have the queen attacked. And that's why I said double attacks do not get much better than this. You win the queen. Uh, this was a this was an example I wanted to share. Now I'm going to present nine puzzles on the same theme for you. Uh, so let's start with the first one. It's going to be white to move. We have a knight on f5. Make the most of it. Pause the video if you'd like and come up with a solution whenever you're ready. Right. So what we are going to do here is we bring our rook to d7. We capture the bishop. Why? Because we had two pieces, bishop and a queen, attacking our knight here. We don't want that. So we capture the bishop on d7. The queen takes back. Black thinks it's a good trade because they got a rook for a bishop. Queen g4. Now, once again, it's the exact same setup that we saw in the example. We have a discovered attack on the queen the moment knight moves to give a check. And if black moves the queen away from this diagonal towards safety, then queen to g7 is checkmate. Black can ideally move to d4 to protect the g7 square, but if it does that, then white can simply take on d4. So black is actually trapped. And the best move that black can actually make right now is just take the knight and delay the checkmate, so the queen takes back. Another thing that black can do, as we saw in the last video as well, is just play g6, so the immediate checkmate threat is warded off. But knight h6, king g7, and the queen is ours. In this puzzle, we have white to move. Please pause the video if you'd like and come back whenever you're ready. Okay, so we will start with, in this case, it's actually tricky. White does not really have a benefit because black has a really good move that it can use to destroy white. So this is a hope-based move that white plays. It's knight takes on e5. Had black taken over here on e5, sorry, of course not with the queen, but with the pawn, then white would have been in a much better position because white can simply bring the rook and maneuver the bishop, bring the other rook as well into the attack. So that was the hope that black would take with the pawn. But black has a much better move. Well, let the knight go. Queen g5 is threatening checkmate on g2, and there is nothing white can do to stop it. And well, in desperation, white is just going to have to take that knight to delay the checkmate. And in that process, white loses the queen. Another thing that white can possibly try, but it's not going to help at all, is something like f3. Uh, so the g2 pawn is protected, but nonetheless, we have a knight check, which is going to expose our queen, and black will take our queen. I hope you are understanding how different patterns work in when the knight is on f5. Okay, let's continue to the next puzzle. Over here, it's white to move. Please pause the video and think for a solution as to how can you make the situation better for white. Okay, we will start with uh, taking this pawn using the knight. Why? Because the only way black can take back is by capturing with the knight, which will expose the queen. So knight g7, knight g7, and you black loses the queen. So obviously, knight will not take with the knight. It will simply just move the king, which will allow us knight f5 again. Rook comes to g8, threatening the white queen, and queen simply moves to h4. Rook comes to g6 to prevent the move queen f6 and trap the king. So black eventually manages to defend for now, but white is clearly superior because all the pieces are connected and quite well placed, and they are well guarded as well. So it's only a matter of time that white is going to win this game. In this puzzle, it's black to move. Please pause the video and see how you can make the most of the trapped knight, the beautiful knight on f4 in this case, and also another knight and queen and bishop, like so many pieces who are attacking the white king. Let's see if you can make the most of this position. If you thought that knight comes to g3 is a good move, then you are absolutely right. H takes on g3. Now, black did have a choice of just capturing this g3 pawn with the queen, but then it serves no purpose. Rather, black moves to h6 with a check. Now, the idea is to try to open up a discovered attack on this queen. How is that going to happen? Only when king is in a position where knight can check. So the knight will move. It's going to be a forcing move because it's going to be a check, and then the queen can just take. That's the reason why black goes with h6 check first. King has to move to g1. That's the only move, and now you open up a discovered attack with knight h3. Knight goes, but you get a queen with tempo, and also this knight will be captured in the next move. In this puzzle, it's white to move. Please pause the video and think for the best possible continuation for white in this particular position. Okay, so we'll start with a bishop sacrifice. Why do we do that? Because bishop sacrifice as in bishop to h6. Why do we do that? Because we want to expose the king as much as possible. And we know that once the pawn takes, there's no other piece aside from the king that's defending the h6 square. So our queen can come up with the support of the knight and corner the black king. Let's see this move by move. Bishop h6, pawn h6, and queen h6 check. Wouldn't you just love when you have this kind of a position where when the king is exposed in the corner and your queen and knight are attacking it? King goes to g8 and it's checkmate. All of these were forcing moves. Okay, let's continue to the next puzzle. In this case, it's white to move. Please pause the video and think for the best possible continuation in this case. This is a really interesting one, so perhaps you might want to take a few extra seconds to solve this one. The first move is as counterintuitive as you think it would be. The first move here is queen h6. The reason is because if pawn takes, then it's checkmate in one move. Do you see it? G takes h6. Knight h6 is checkmate because the dark square diagonals are covered by the bishop on d4. So black assuming that black is a good player, black will not play that move. Black will simply try to bring another piece into the attack, and also defense rather of the g7 square, but it's too little too late. White captures on f6, and we are in the same position where we started. Black will give a check, will try to block, queen takes, bishop takes, and we are still in the same position, having three pieces attacking this particular square, and there is nothing that black can do about it. Black makes a futile move like b3 and followed by queen g7, checkmate. In this case, it's white to move. Please pause the video and think for a solution that is going to make white's situation better. Okay. The first move, once again, as counterintuitive as it might seem, is giving up the queen as a sacrifice. Queen takes, not a sacrifice, but just a trade. Queen takes, and now, if you recall, the third point on our screen is when the bishop is on e7. So we are just making sure that the guardian of that bishop, the queen, is moved so we can deliver a check from e7, and that's what we are doing. King goes to h8, and we have the queen back. So we gave a queen temporarily, and with a check, we also captured the bishop. So net, we actually won the bishop for almost nothing. And plus, we also have a beautifully opened file, f file for the rook, and both the rooks are connected. So all in all, it's a win. The next puzzle, it's white to move. Please pause the video and come back when you're ready. All right, so we'll start with bishop takes on h6, g takes on h6. What is the purpose of doing this? We are trying to expose the g file and also try to make sure that this entire corner is quite open without enough defenders from the black side. Now what we are going to do is we are going to play bishop to d3. What is the idea behind bishop d3? Well, we are going to attack the knight that's on c4. So white black plays something like bishop f8 and queen takes on c4. Now what happens if black just moves the knight away, for example, something like this? Then in that case, queen comes on g3, giving this entire open section for the queen and knight to do its dance. For example, if king goes to h8, then it's checkmate. If the king goes to f8, then once again it's checkmate. So there is to prevent this is why black actually plays bishop f8 instead of moving the loose knight. And the final puzzle of the day is for black to move. Please pause the video and think for a solution. Just come back when you're ready. I hope you were able to see the solution, and if not the solution, then at least see the theme of attack. It is going to start with bishop h3 and followed by g takes on h3. Now queen is going to go to e6. Why? Because we are trying to threaten a check on h3, which might eventually lead to checkmate. So the king moves away to g1. King takes on h3 nevertheless. Queen takes on h3 nevertheless. Rook goes to f2 and g4, just bringing one more piece into the attack in case if the pawn in case if pawn takes. Sorry about that. Then we have the rook coming into the attack and checkmate is unstoppable. So aside from rook g1, after this particular move, they can also play something like queen takes on f4 because white is that desperate. It's going to give away the queen for a knight. And after g takes f4, we have an open file for the rook, and we have a queen that can also join the attack pretty soon. With that, we have come at a close for this chapter, for this puzzle theme with knight on f5. Whenever you see your knight being on f5 and you're in one of your games, think of this puzzle theme and see if you can conjure up an attack against the opponent. Please like, comment, and subscribe on my channel. I would really appreciate that. It would keep me motivated and inspired to keep creating newer videos for you. And my final goal, ultimate goal, is for you to improve your chess this year. It's the Chess Puzzler signing out.